Welcome to the DevCast, the only show taking you down the rabbit hole of game development. Your guides to the industry are Robin Andrew, Chaz Barker, and Mark Hollier. Thank you, Offworld, for sponsoring this episode. So welcome back. What'd you guys, we just had a break. What did you guys do over the holidays?
I was playing some modded Fireteam, so the community have got together and started using our mod tools to create new content for Fireteam. I've been playing that, as well as...
I saw some of those things. Like, some of them are really interesting.
What's the names? Cool. I'll find one of the names so I can shout it out. Give me a second. But
give this guy the shout out. So what I played, I played the biggest social game of the year. Obviously, that's Arc Raiders. Really looking at that, just in the way that they're doing their voice comms, and how their emote wheel or whatever is tied to audio, but it just supplements your actual mic. I believe that's a game you need to have a mic on regardless.
You need it, yeah.
Yeah. But I was playing that. I played some Grounded. So
Grounded's good.
Yeah, Grounded's a great game. Survival and building bases and exploring. That was a lot of fun. Great multiplayer with that as well. Mm-hmm. And if you have any sort of phobia of insects or arachnids, oh my god. But that, and also Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit. Mm-hmm. So really throwback to the classic style hardness of platforming gameplay. Quite good. I enjoyed them all.
I didn't really play all that much this off time. I mainly started working on a little side project.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So trying to do a text-based RPG.
Nice. Very cool.
I want to shout out the Fireteam mods for, what was it? Operation Boreal Guard and Operation Ashfall. Quite enjoyable.
Nice.
Interesting work.
Very good. Can't wait to see more of community stuff like that, and
Yep.
being able to I just like reviewing them and just being like, oh man, this is cool, or they can come up with all kinds of fantasy scenarios or any, just go for it.
This is my first time making a game that's moddable, so it's completely new as a game designer to have that door open to people to submit their work to the game, and I'm getting used to it, but it's weird not being able to approve what goes into your game experience, and that's kind of the beauty of it, and that's how you grow as a designer as well. It's just letting the audience do what they want to do and show you what they want and be open to that. I'm a bit of a control freak, I could say that, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd
tense,
say so.
A little tense.
A little bit. You chill the fuck out.
So yeah, I'm learning to deal with that, and that was part of my holiday break, was just relaxing and just absorbing other people's content. Also, really shout out to the Road to Vostok demo, which was very interesting. If you want to get more simmy with your shooters and just imagine looking in a magazine and loading bullets into it manually. Mm-hmm. It's one step removed from Squad, but
I hope the audio is really nice on that, like the just putting in each. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like what I was talking about. No, yeah, like you literally, you're loading. So the first thing I did was go out of the house I was in with a simple pistol and started trying to fire at the AI, and click 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 click, nothing happening. And I'm literally I didn't look at the tutorial, didn't look at anything, and so eventually I figured out you slide out the magazine and you look at it and it's empty, and I was kind of blown away, but. Yeah, it's an interesting. It's just a demo right now. It's early access demo, so give it some slack. And then also Arc Raiders. Yeah, very very impressed with Arc Raiders. I've said it before. I'll say it again. A nice 20-minute, 30-minute loop of a game. Always welcome. Bit of a meta, in and out.
Yeah. I was gonna say about that mod that you're talking about with the loading in the each of the bullets. This is the argument. I gotta say, this is why you want to be like Revolver Ocelot and use the what gun was his? It was the single action army revolver, because then you could actually see how many shots he had left. It was something cool about that.
Do you have any idea what he's talking about?
Not a clue.
Okay.
Oh my god, people out there know what I'm talking about.
Am I not cool now? Boy,
Not cool enough.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, I hope they put a revolver in that mod now. I'm just like, come on. So someone do that for me.
So it's not a mod. It's a full. He made the game.
Oh, sorry.
a
I
demo,
thought you were talking about on the mod aspect of that.
No,
sorry,
no,
when
no.
the Skytrain went by, I think I kind of.
Yeah. It's
tuned out there.
separate game on Steam. Nothing affiliated with Offworld.
Okay. That's awesome though.
Yeah,
That's
single
great.
single guy started doing it, and then he got a team around him. I think he's in Iceland or similar.
Cool. So we go into kind of our main topic for this podcast. What I was doing on my time off. Give me some help of, starting a game from scratch, building a game, the pitfalls, the highs, the lows.
How do you start? How do you finish? How do you go on? So this is going to be a common
thread here.
a common thread is something we'll keep talking about.
Yeah.
Like, how do I actually finish a game, right? Like, how do I start a game? If you're asking us as professionals how we do it.
Well, I think, we can absolutely start with how do you even get started? And then, we'll continue this through, and eventually we'll have the question will come up, how do you finish?
So in game design school, you get told very explicitly, whatever your dream game is, throw it away immediately.
Yeah.
Just throw it away. Don't start there. That's also my advice is like, if you imagine the game you want to make, quarter it, halve it, like just keep on reducing it until it's very, very small.
So I would, so I guess
for
with that,
just single developer.
No. I understand that. And I think it's great to have those goals of this is going to be my dream game. But it's like, if you have that one mechanic that's core to your dream game, just dial it all the way back and start just, hey, I'm going to make a little game based around that core mechanic to start.
Yep.
And then build it, because most likely your dream game has all these different interwoven mechanics that work well with each other. Just
Stories
what you're saying.
and throwaway stories. Don't do
start all the way
stories.
with one, and I'll make another Metal Gear reference here. So if you look at the Metal Gear games and how they've evolved, like they just didn't do all of it all at once. They started with these little mechanics, and then from every subsequent game, they added another one, and then eventually you get up to where 5 was, and then when he broke off from Konami over to Death Stranding, took all those learnings and all those mechanics and all that kind of stuff along to making Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2. Start with the core.
Start with the core.
Yes.
And then before that, even if you're asking me, how do I break it down? How do I cut it in half? How do I quarter it? Give yourself very clear limitations.
Pillars.
You
gotta have pillars.
Even before pillars, I would say, going back to the story I might have told before about going to GDC and going through their game design intensive. One of the exercises was you have a budget, right? You have a platform, you have a game type, and those are your limits, and you've got to come up with a pitch in an hour of like what that is. So I think my team was, you have pizza as your budget, a box of pizza, that's it. You've got a weekend of time. You got to make a game for the Apple Watch, and it's got to be about music, right? So if I was starting a project on the weekend and whatever, I would just randomly pick something, like whatever platform I got access to. If it's a web games are really simple. My budget is, I've got 2 weekends to do it. That's how I would start. And I'd say, it's about music or it's about this, and just go and try and finish it in 2 weekends.
We used to actually do that when I was at Ubisoft back in the day. We would take a bunch of name generator stuff, and we would just take all these different names, and then different types of ideas, like, what was the type? Is it action? Is it platforming? Is it this? Well, all kinds of random junk. And we used to just do these mini kind of game pitches based off of a off a randomizer. I think that's a great way to kind of start building up your skill set, or just even discover. You might be able to discover an absolute gem off that little idea, that that randomizer of a game, and then you're like, wait a minute, my dream game can go on hold there for a while because this is going to be my new passion now for a while because this is gold, and you build upon that, and hey, if it's successful, then you start looking. I know there's a whole lot of steps between randomizing, found gold, success. There's a lot after. There's a lot in between that.
And you can limit yourself to, again, the time is a limitation. And think about it this way: if you keep starting new things, your brain will be good at starting new things. You'll always be creating the next side project because you'll get bored with the game you're making. Let me underline that. You will get bored with the game you are making. If you're a professional, it doesn't matter, right? Like if you are employed to design Barbie Horse Adventure, that is what you design. If you're employed to design,
but you'll make the best. You'll make the best goddamn Barbie Horse Adventure. That's, as a designer, you need to do that.
With it. You will buy Barbie dolls and you will play with them and you will do everything you can. You will light a match and stamp your feet for Barbie. That is your job, and you will like I will be serious about this. I've done this for 10, 12 years. Every single game I've worked on, I have been obsessed with, even if I didn't like it at first. I've worked on incremental clicker games, like free-to-play incremental clicker games, which I hated. By the end, I loved it.
You know what? My first job in the game industry was on a project with NBA Street V3. And you know what, man? I was not into basketball at all. And I was just like, oh, let's put on this team. Why not Need for Speed or all those other ones? Oh, yeah. But man, I tell you, I learned everything about basketball. I like on my own, I ended up making like, spreadsheets of who was on what team, what their picks were, what even their shoe size and like who they're sponsored by, for the shoes and whatever. Because, and I just got into the whole street culture. I ate it all up. I was like, this is my life. I got to figure this out, and I got to be the goddamn best. At that point, I was in QA. Try to be the best QA tester I could, but learning about the subject. So just
so you've going back to Mark's.
It's not about me. It's not about me. It's
going back to Mark's example. If you're starting something on the weekend, you've given yourself a deadline. Say it's 2 weekends. You've given yourself a platform. Just use the web. Yeah. Very easy. Give yourself a game type, music, and do the simplest thing you possibly can and finish it. And then see how that feels, right? Like see how that feels to finish something, and it won't be good. It'll be done.
But then you repeat it, and then you repeat
it, and that cycle, you'll be better at it. And what you'll find is, and this is I think probably a common thing, is that you'll really struggle at the end to finish. Like you'll get to that point and you'll struggle, and then what I would suggest is then go into like a game jam. Still by yourself. Like don't rely on other people, just for now. Even if you've got the best friends, like it's going to complicate things. People have lives. Don't rely on them. Just do it yourself. Once you get to a nice cycle where you've built something, you feel confident, you've shipped it, in the web, it's super easy to just put a web page up, throw it onto itch.io or something like that. There's a bunch of crap in there. Just throw it in. Don't worry about Steam. Don't worry about any complications. Just throw it in.
I wouldn't even worry about hey, did I get the traction on it?
No.
All that. You've got to let that part go. It's like you just did the thing. You put it out there. You can actually then say to anyone, well, did you make a thing? Yes, here it is. And you can then actively direct them to that versus just worrying about organic people finding it. Now in that term of like when you're saying, oh, I'm going to give it now to somebody, or someone asked me even about a job interview or whatever, you're like, here's the game. If they like it, that might even get shared now amongst other people. He made this game, or she made this game, or they made this game. It's just it's a great starting point for that, and that's where that can actually be discovered. And it could, or just not after that as well.
A game designer came into an interview with a shitty web page, and he'd made Flappy Bird. I'm like, you're now streets ahead of a lot of people.
Yeah, sure. Just do something. Yep. Just do it.
So that's a good point to start off with.
So I want to come back to something that you did say. Is it just the muscle memory that you're trying to get into of starting a project, finishing a project, and that's why you don't start off with your passion project first of all? Like the game that you really want to make,
Again,
Why put that off to the side and just make something?
Because you will be. I think you'll be self-sabotaging yourself. You will be afraid of the success because once you try and make something you love and you believe in real, you will self-sabotage.
So I'm going to counter that actually. So I get what you're saying, and I get your point of view from this. But like I said before, yes, okay, you don't have to make that game, but you should. For me, I would like it as, like I said before, take the core component that I want to be able to to eventually get me to that game. So I don't think that's a bad thing to have that common. This is my mechanic or this thing I wanted to make. I don't care if it's shooter, platformer or whatever. If your end game is a platformer, yeah, try an early basic platform. Just try and build a thing. Don't try to finish it to the final version of what your game is. Just try and go through it. But I think that's where it's valuable, because you're like saying, well, this is still relatable to my end goal, and this can kind of inspire me and stoke me to do another iteration, another game with a variant of, exploring with the variant or another mechanic that pairs with the core one that I want my final game to have.
Maybe a good way of saying it is then take your game that you love. And look at the simplest version of it that someone's already done.
There you go.
And
just
copy it.
Yeah.
Don't try and improve it. I'm a big believer in the fact that even if professionally we're taking a gameplay type or a game type, even like extraction shooter, like Arc Raiders, like they take that, not take, but they are inspired by other games like extraction shooter.
Oh, absolutely.
And by the act of making it, you make it yourself. You make it yours. You put a spin on it. You can't help it. So I'm not afraid of saying it. Like most of the games that I've worked on have been very much inspired by other games.
For sure.
They've been leveraging the same mechanics, the same game types and systems and feels, because you're crazy if you're creating something that's absolutely new from scratch. It never happens, right? Like it's really hard to do.
Well, I'd say rarely, but yes, yeah.
And I've tried that multiple times. It's very hard to do it. It's great design opportunity, but again, this is the advice for a single person working on their own in a weekend. Take the smallest thing. If your game involves jumping, do a 2D jumping type of thing,
exactly,
and finish it. So yeah, so the mental model you're trying to do is avoiding pipe dreams. It's avoiding massive projects that you're going to spend 3 years on and never finish.
Right.
It is going to be and pipe dreams are a very common thing, even amongst people in the industry. People are like, I want to do this, and then next week they're like, I want to do that, right? So this is the big underlying point. You will get bored. You'll hate the stage of the project you're at that you can't finish, even if you're doing a simple fucking web game that it should be so fucking simple, and I just want it to play the sound at this point, and you'll fail, right? Yeah. And people aren't used to failing, but that's what happens in the industry, right? Like I fail publicly. I fail publicly in terms of the general public, but also in terms of you guys and the office and all my friends and stuff. Like that is something that a game designer does, because you're trying to invent on the fly while people are watching you, and you're pitching ideas and you're saying not this, right? And you can be wrong.
It is absolutely okay to be wrong. It is okay to be wrong. It's okay for your first game that you're going to make
to be shit.
Absolutely, it is.
And then you show it to people and you're like, look at what I did, and they're like, this is shit. And you go, thank you for your feedback.
Yeah. So that's the other part of this, is the emotional component. If you were going to make something, if you're going to even design anything, you can be in the moment emotionally creating it and have that feel good and the emotions. I can't wait, and I'm thinking about the future and doing all that kind of stuff in the moment is great. When you're presenting that or putting it up on a store or
putting yourself out there,
remove that emotional component. I cannot stress that enough, because if you don't, you'll be completely in defense mode. Any sort of feedback is going to feel a lot more abrasive. Just turn that off and be in the full, put yourself into a receiving mode of, I am just going to take in all the feedback, good, bad.
How do I do that?
Well,
How make brain do that?
So for different people, different ways you can do that.
Yeah.
I believe you told me before that you do some meditation and stuff like that before you have to do these things. I don't know. I've learned over the years from presenting and just being in front of people, being able to flip a switch and just be like, what's my activation point? As long as I have a ground point, it's kind of like, in the dreams where you're like, how do I teach myself how to know that I'm in the dream? And it's like, look for the red balloon, and you teach yourself to do that.
Yeah.
You're teaching yourself the same sort of switch to turn into from one mode to the other, and you really have to practice that. Very much how you practice meditating. You just don't go, okay, meditation, go.
Well, if you have enough mindfulness, you
Yes.
can, but it's very difficult. But yeah, I agree. It does feel like flipping a switch. So like there's books about it, but like How Not to Give a Fuck. There's a certain mode where you can go, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm done. Like that's exhaustion maybe, but that's how I found it at first. It was like, what I say fire team is a good example where it goes out the door and I'm like, it's my beautiful, ugly baby. Out it goes off into the world and I'm just staring at it going, I'm seeing all the faults. I'm seeing all the UI that I put together that's terrible. And, I'm seeing all the problems. And then, you just have to go like, what's next?
Yep.
Yeah.
West Wing, greatest TV show of all time. Just like
What's next?
It's just a constant assault of bullshit. And they're like, okay, what's next? You gotta have that mentality. And we're saying it. We're professionals. We do this all the time. For people who are doing it, they've never done it before. It's just going to be, as I said again, go through the mental motions. Like finish the shitty game, push it in front of people, and just eat shit. Eat literal shit.
Eat shit and live.
Eat shit and live. Like snowboarding. When I taught myself snowboarding.
Yeah.
Fall down for every degree of the 360 degrees. Fall over that many times.
You learned very differently than I did. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I was bumming around, didn't have a teacher.
Although you know what, I do teach people how to fall. Because if you know how to fall, you know how to roll with it. You know how to not hurt yourself. You know how to be not so. If you're super tense and again getting in that defensive, kind of the analogy of defensive mode, you're going to hurt yourself a lot more. And if you know how to take those falls, you know how to take that feedback, you're going to roll through it. And you're going to get up and you're going to do it again. You're going to take another run, go down the hill. And eventually you're going to be linking up stuff and doing tricks and trying tricks, I say, and failing. And then you get better. That's what we do. That is no different in the game industry and wanting to make a game.
I'll give 2 more points of feedback.
Sure.
And this is very important. The first one, you may not fucking enjoy it. You may do a bunch of games and you'll be like, I don't like doing this. It sucks.
Maybe you
that's
like
okay.
maybe you like being the producer side of things.
But most people want to be creative, right? They want to be creative. They want to contribute.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm like, just try something else. It's okay.
Yeah.
Not everyone is meant to do this. It's a bit of a weird thing to do. And the next piece is, if you're not enjoying it, try different ways of enjoying it. And what I mean specifically by that is by analyzing what your brain is doing while you're doing it. And if you're getting frustrated or if you're sick of the lack of progress, break the, excuse my French, fucking problem down into smaller pieces. Even everywhere in the industry I see this, it's like everyone is trying to make this. They're trying to eat a pie and they're trying to put the entire pie in their mouths and they're getting really fucking aggravated. And people are telling them like, you unhinge your jaw. We should bake a smaller pie. It'll take forever, but we'll get there. I'm like, you just take a knife and just cut it up. You cut it up and they're like, no, it's going to be much faster if I do it this way. I'm like, oh, just take a knife and just cut it. And I'm using that as an analogy, but take something that's a design problem where I have to design the main menu of my game, right? What buttons do I need on the main menu?
Yeah.
Play
it out.
Like, but I need to press a button to like do that first. What else do you need to do? Need to press escape to just write it down. Write it down. Have a list of things to do, and then as you're
I'm going to take it a little bit. Okay,
let me just finish my rant on this because I have to train designers, and I'm going to try and skip a few steps.
Rant away.
I'm going to try and skip a few steps, but like if someone, if I say to you, design a main menu, you start breaking the problem down, right? And you make nice little objectives, and you go through and you do them and you cross them off, right?
Yep.
It's like a game that you've designed. Where you're making a game, you break it up into little goals, and you have obstacles you have to overcome, but they're not big obstacles.
Yeah.
You break it up, and that makes your brain happy, and you will find you will enjoy making games instead of
taking the little bites and being able to swallow it. Yeah, I get it.
I'm done because I'm not done because I'm dealing with people who are still doing it, and they're like, I don't enjoy doing this. I'm like, I'm paying you to enjoy doing this. Anyway, that's me.
Now, you know what? I completely forgot what my thing was going to go for. I'm going to be halfway through this podcast, but it's going to be this, and I'm going to come back to it. But absolutely, it's you got to break it down.
So the way that
that's a good analogy. I really like that. Sorry, Mark.
No worries. The way that it's coming towards me and all that kind of stuff is break your game down into a prototype. Get that prototype to a final endpoint. Release it. Do it over. Don't do that over again, but do the next part of that.
Yeah. Prototyping is that's the one of the pieces you're breaking your game down into is like, I'm doing a prototype that will be specifically. We'll do a whole podcast on prototyping. I promise.
Yeah.
But that is like. The prototype might be, I don't know if this eating minigame that I want to make is interesting, good, or what feedback it requires. It is something like, I'm a game designer. I don't know if this thing I've designed is going to be good.
I would really love to see people, like, as we're going through this, this whole process here, I would love to see or us saying like, hey, make a thing. Show us the little thing that you made or whatever, and send it to us. And
yeah. That would be great.
I'd love to be able to talk about people's things.
And that's the next sort of part is like, you don't know, you are going to discover. That's prototype. That's risk. That is like, holy shit, I don't know. And you should spend zero money on it, and it should be quick and dirty.
Yep.
And then you have something called a minimum viable product or a vertical slice or something which is going to be an extension of that, but it maybe has feedback. It looks better. It looks like something that people would actually pick up and play. A prototype is not that. A prototype is a circle that does a thing. You're right.
So, right at the start. Just keep it simple. Yeah, the analogy: keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
Kiss.
Yep.
Yeah. Just do that.
So yeah, we could talk for years about how to make games, but the simplest way of describing it is break the problem up. Don't try and make the Sistine Chapel, and be nice to yourself.
Always be nice to yourself. All right. So the next topic that I want to jump into is something that we've all probably have dealt with, and this is more for people that are in the industry, have been in the industry for a couple of years, or for decades like us. It's how to deal with burnout and finding the passion again.
Well, I mean, first of all, dealing with burnout, like taking too much of a big bite on anything can create burnout right away. So using the other lessons around the pie, take smaller bites. Try to find that component that makes you excited. Try and chase that for a little bit, and I look at things where. As we're looking at like a long project, it's like how am I going to deal with burnout along that way? Well, you have to take time for yourself. I know that sounds super basic and not very like industry unique.
It's an industry buzzword right now.
Yeah, no, you have to take that time for yourself, but you have to be realistic on your estimates. If you are just super optimistic about this feature or whatever that you have to work on or that you're tasked with or what have you, and you're like, oh yeah, I can get this done in 2 days. If you're not giving yourself enough buffer, that buffer is so important. It's not to show that you're slacking off or anything. It is literally to prevent you from getting burnout. So you're not going from one thing to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And you're not taking the time to make sure that the thing that you've worked on is done properly or tested thoroughly. just give yourself a little bit of that buffer time, because you never know what can come up, and completely blow out your scope now. It's like it's like, well, this is going to take me another day. If you give yourself that other day, that's already built into the buffer, and you can react to that and feel like I'm not now put underneath a pressure. It has already been accounted for. So kind of like, imagine if you were to, I don't know, you're going out to eat somewhere, and you've got, a wallet full of money, and you're like, I have exactly the right amount for this meal that I'm going to order, and with this particular pop and what have you. And what happens if they changed the menu pricing? What if they changed that one thing that you were always get, and now it comes with the pop that's optional that you would have to buy separately, or whatever.
Or they don't even have it anymore.
Or they don't even have it anymore. And now you have to look at something else, and you go, oh, gee, how am I going to pay for this? Or you've ordered it, and if you're not giving you that. Do you know where I'm going with that?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
I'm saying that the stress it's looking about how much money you have to spend, and you've set it all right down to the T of, I'm going to spend exactly this amount, and you go into a restaurant expecting that I'm going to have this money, I'm going to get exactly what I need. Shit can happen, and it's going to pressure you, and you're going, how am I going to fucking deal with this? Oh man, now I got to go put this on my credit card to compensate from the exact cash I brought. Or the tipping option has changed, like the barber that you went to.
30% tip.
Minimum.
Okay, so having been burnt out very aggressively, I completely agree with that. Like, prevent it from happening again. Be vulnerable, which again is very hard, but like, letting your boss know, letting your co-workers know. This is very much depending on your environment. Mm-hmm. If it depends on your environment, get the fuck out of that environment, and find your tribe, find someone, find a place. I know it's easier said than done, but find a place where, they do understand, they want to prevent burnout.
Yeah.
That's very important. I've seen people shackle themselves to the wrong environment, to the wrong company. Some companies are, we work hard, play hard, or get the fuck out. And that's good for some people. I used to be fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, early on, I used to be like that as well.
And then as you get older, you can't. But like, there are still some people, and young people and old people still, who do enjoy that, and they want. And I want to stress this: they want to do it. They want to crunch. They want to get done, and it can be a positive experience. It is very, very seldom a positive experience, but it can be done, and it shouldn't be black or white, right? So I would say that be vulnerable and. Find the right situation. And then once you realize that you are burnt out, admit it to yourself, and then make steps to do something about it. Be good to your health as well. So that's the main thing I want to put across is, this is mental health. This is like, you are burnt out, and some people don't even admit it. I didn't admit it.
No, oh, absolutely. No, it can be a big problem in any industry. And one of the things, if you're getting into game design, or working in a studio, when you go home, be very clear about this, is you're turning off, like, you've got to unplug, because there's right now the way that the culture is now shifted is, oh yeah, no, we're not doing OT. But when you're at home, you're answering Slack, you're doing all this stuff beyond your work hours, and that is essentially OT when you think about it. And that will lead to burnout, because now you're trying to relax, but now you've this obligation of going through your phone and checking things. That idea can be thought of, well, that's just being professional. It's like, okay, if that is your jam, that you want to do this 24/7, that doesn't make you a better designer for doing that. That is just a way that some people like to do, but they will burn out. I don't care how, they will get burnt out eventually. Even the people which are like, yeah, I like this. It's like, into a point.
Yep.
Yeah.
To a point, yes. Yeah,
But,
totally agree.
So I try to, like, over the Christmas break, oh yeah, my notifications were off, like, completely. I missed a dinner with colleagues because they decided to comment through Slack, and I was like, I'm sorry, I completely forgot. I unplugged.
Yeah. Mark, what about yourself?
Yeah.
For me, that's a good question, because I only know that I'm burnt out when I'm taken away from the situation.
Oh, you feel it like it's almost like the rebound after.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
So, in my experiences with EA and stuff like that, when I got laid off, I didn't realize how burnt out I really was.
Yeah.
When I had that week, that 2 weeks, that 3 weeks of not being such under pressure,
Yeah.
that it just came like dripping off of me.
Yeah.
And I actually stayed on EI for 6 months.
Yeah.
That was the only way that I could actually get back into video games again.
Yeah.
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 It's kind of
That, and I was instilled with the boomer mentality. You go to work every day.
Yeah.
yeah.
You grin and bear it. Like, you don't barely take time off for getting sick.
That's another part is like, if you get sick, and we had a lot of people out sick recently. There's flu going around, and you're taking this time off and you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm missing so much. You have to just stop, and you have to recover.
It's not that you're missing anything. I personally feel I am awake. I should be able to work.
Right.
Yeah, but I understand. And there's this other feeling too, like, once you get back, you're like, holy shit, now I have to catch up with all this stuff. Now getting back to, when production's like setting up timelines for each of these milestones, it's like they also have to know that anything can happen along this, and they should be building in the buffer for mishaps. And just like I said before about your own time management for estimating your own tasks, these buffers can actually save you, and it can save your health. If I'm out sick with a migraine or whatever the heck it is, I know I'm going to be coming back, and I'm not going to be like, holy geez, I have now to make up for all that time, and I'm going to crunch my stuff into like overtime, stressing me out more, or doing that kind of stuff. It all compounds. So time management is so critical.
Do you know what's great about good producers? They break the problems down.
Oh, yes.
They break it, and they do all the Jira work for you. So they break everything up into a nice little edible slices of the pie. That's like, people are like, what do producers do? And I'm like, they fucking break the pie up, man, because you're not going to break the pie up. No, it's part of it's work to break the pie up. People don't realize that. It's a full-time job. Like a game the squad size, it's like several people's full-time job to break the pie up into nice little pieces. And then you go like, players are like, when's it going to be done? And the producer has to go like, it's probably June. And then we have to do it by June, and that's the grind. And you have to be creative in the middle. But that will lead to burnout, no matter what. I fully believe it's like, once you finish a project like Fireteam, like I was, a little bit burned out. Took 3 weeks off, came back, played it again, and was like, back in the zone.
Do you remember, like, back in the day, you'd finish a project and you would take a couple, you're like, okay, I'm going on, and everyone would be like, cool.
It was called pre-production for the next game. And
Pre-production.
You'd be fucked because you didn't do anything on pre-production. You ended up in production again without doing.
Yeah. I do remember a couple times I was like going from like, oh, one project's done. It's like, you go on, you take your vacation then. And that was your time. And then there would be some people who
took vacation in the middle of the fucking crunch. I goddamn hate it.
Oh, in crunch? Oh my God,
it was
insane.
Such a faux pas. It was horrible. But saying that, it's like
they're like, well, I booked it though, like forever ago. Well, that booking, again, getting into like people looking at producers, it's like, well, this is crunch time. This is a sensitive area for you. Can you shift this?
Yeah. And sometimes you can't. But it was one of those things where it's tough. That was back in the day. That was real yearly crunch type stuff.
Yeah.
That was when we were working on games that were out every year, and they had set timelines. We are always crunching between like July to September.
Have you ever slept underneath your desk before?
No, never slept under the desk.
I have. A couple times.
Got caught sleeping.
Oh, caught sleeping? Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah. Working on FIFA, QAing it during the Xbox 360 launch.
Wow. Yeah.
We were doing 12-hour days and two shifts.
Yeah.
So there was a 24-hour.
24 hours. Yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did the night shift because I knew the producers wouldn't be there.
Oh yeah.
That was
Oh
good.
hey,
that was
that's
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a good way to kind of lower your stress there and just focus like zen on your work.
Oh, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you turn into a night owl, and then you don't do anything during the day. You're trying to sleep during the day, and then you work through the night.
So you're working on your night moves. Is that right?
Oh, be careful there. We don't have the rights to that.
Hey, I said so you were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, like we were, audio had their own little room because we, and during our dinner break, we turned off the lights just to recoup and stuff like that. And we ended up, all of us falling asleep.
Oh.
And then our lead and his lead came into the room to chat with us, and we were all asleep. We got a talking to, but
I mean, that even just tells you that your body's needed it.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So I've been struggling, by the way, just to get through the final I'm doing the Dungeon Crawler Carl podcast, and I'm on the Butcher's Masquerade, and I am stuck trying to get through the last bits because this last week or last 2 weeks it's been rather after we've come back, it's
a little hectic,
a little bit, and I've been wanting to get into it, and I've been falling like my body just goes, nope, you are going to sleep to the sound of
Jeff Hayes.
Jeff Hayes' voice.
Oh, it's
Love
so
it.
glorious.
I mean, yeah, I could sleep to that.
Oh yeah.
Which I do fall asleep, but I mean, then I have to go back. But it was my body.
Says something in all caps, and you're like,
But that's
I'm awake.
But that's it though. Like even you're trying so hard, and your body's just like, no, you got to recover. Like you rest, recover, and you ever see that meme or that on the Instagram? You see the big wrestling guy, and he's got long hair, and he's like, hey, you, stop what you're doing, go to bed. And it has this girl, and she's like, no. And he's like taking a sip, and she spits water.
You're
and
doom
goes, blah, blah,
scrolling
blah, blah,
way
blah.
too much.
That is the problem. Doom scrolling. You're fighting it. You ever like nodding off with your phone in your hand?
Yep.
Anyways, getting a little bit off base there, but yeah.
So the second part of the topic that I wanted to hit on is finding your passion again. How, like, personally, how did you find your passion again after being burnt out? Is it playing games? Is it like, what do you do to?
So you're out of Burnout.
You're out of
and
Burnout.
You're like, you're about to go into the next project.
Yeah.
For me, that was doing a different job. I did some product management, which is very different from engineering, very different from game design. I did that. I did a different type of game design. I learned a different skill, learned a different part of the games industry. I was very lucky to have those opportunities, but actually saying that, it's because of my passion I was able to do that. So how do I get that passion back? Taking a break and then basically realizing this is what I did. I don't know if it'll work for everyone else, but basically if I were to sit down and do nothing for 3 weeks, I would eventually start making games again. I would.
Okay, so it's the absence of.
Yeah.
We'll rekindle that.
It is.
Okay.
It's lucky that I have that, and it's something that I've never really thought about, but I've always wanted to make games. I've always done it.
I find, I look for inspirations from other things, whether it's games or movies, because you could be like watching something, or you could be going on a drive, and you'd see something, and you'd be like, oh, that could be totally a mechanic. That's how this could work. And that little spark can get you so excited to come back and be like, okay, I can't wait for Monday. Got to get back in on Monday. You're going to talk about this feature.
Right.
It's being inspired by other things out there. So get out there, do something different. Play different games, watch different movies. I don't know, go for a hike even, or go for a drive. There is so much stuff out there just in the real world that you'll be like, this is the piece I'm missing, the mechanic. Well, it could be physics about how a tank rolls over something. Like, oh, you can get inspired by that roll of logs. I don't know.
Yeah.
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 That's what I do.
For me, I'm kind of the same way as Chaz is. After a while, like I'll have that dip, and then I'll have that spark of inspiration or that idea, and then it'll start getting me back into it and back into it again. And for me, it's having other hobbies. Like D&D.
D&D is a great one for that.
Yeah, D&D. I like doing home lab stuff. So building out my own NAS. Like there's a technical side to things that I like to do, which is adjacent to it, but it's not the minutia as going into an editor and building a game.
The other thing would be having a community of people who also build things is infectious.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
I believe that you are who you hang out with. And if you
Yes.
hang out with people who make stuff, you will make stuff.
It's kind of like, you know, if you go to the pub or go for dinner or whatever with a couple friends that they're in your industry, and like we've seen this, and we just take this one spark of that person, one idea, and you play off that, and it goes around the table, and then suddenly you're like, yo, we could make this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting. But yeah, other hobbies, I absolutely agree with that. Like I like to work with resin, and I make handmade dice. Can I plug myself on that?
Yeah, plug it.
Yeah, Familiar Dice. If you're unfamiliar, Instagram, familiardice.com, whatever. Anyways, when I get in there, I'm doing now something with my hands, and that's what I wanted to do. You know, when you're working in game design, it's like, yeah, you know, you're working on the screen, whatever. I needed to do something completely different.
Yeah.
So I wanted to work with, learn all about resin and, safety, and then different techniques, and all that stuff can just pull you out of the thought of game design all the time to give that mental reset. And that will, like you said, sometimes doing nothing can help create the spark coming back. But definitely hobbies.
Yeah.
Pick up a hobby. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. We have just enough time to go for our this episode's parkour and spreadsheets. So I've given you guys a game.
Oh yeah. Okay.
This game has come up in conversations over the last couple of weeks. It's Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, the original 2003.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I have Robin as parkour
Yay.
and Chaz as spreadsheets.
Hey, you get to
My
do
life.
spreadsheets this time. This is great. Okay, I'm gonna go first.
You go first.
Everyone's gonna be like, "Well, it's obviously parkour," and just from the way that even if you dial right back to the simplest version of this game, like the first one that came out, that was about parkour in the set, like right down to how they did the animation, how they had to show the guy jumping. They actually filmed that. With a guy doing all the rolls. Yeah. Or it wasn't even, was it like almost like rotoscoped in style? And then they just built the...
No, that was like the original.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm saying going back to its core roots, the absolute original, it was parkour in even the recording of the animations and all those other things. And then you go all the way back up to Sands of Time. Well, yeah, sure, they're doing mocap and stuff, but it's parkour to a T. I mean, you're leaping, grabbing, you're trying to use the environment to get around to different places, You're thinking about verticality and distance and your speed and your timing. This ought to be good.
I'll say that this is challenging, but let's approach this from a game design point of view. I'm going to take it as I'm reviewing the build of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, and I have game designers showing me missions and levels. I want to see spreadsheets of designs for how a mission will flow, like what happens at each beat after a certain amount of time, so that the player is getting breaks in the action, right? And there's a certain amount of time before there's the next puzzle. There's a certain amount of time before the next fight. What is the health of this enemy that I'm fighting? What is the damage of the sword that the player is using? How many hits do I have to take? What is the average time going to be for that particular battle.
Yeah.
And that is a piece of game design that is missing from a lot of games.
Yep.
And people do not do it. So there is a spreadsheet at the heart of that game. I bet you any money, Ubisoft somewhere there's a spreadsheet.
Oh, absolutely. No,
just Sands of Time.
And I think you hit it on the head.
Yeah.
Puzzles.
Puzzles are
So-
like that's another topic I'm not going to touch on today, but yeah.
You know what? I'm going to come over onto the spreadsheet side of things there for a bit because
Sure.
absolutely
It looks fun over here, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So when you're looking at the animation aspects, like, well, what's the time of the animation?
Yeah.
And how much distance am I going to go with that roll with with how it looks? And then you have to look at what's the arc for my jumps.
The metrics of the
All
level.
those need to be
If you change the animation of jumps, level designers probably have to know.
Oh
about
my
that.
God, they're gonna Can you imagine that? Prince of Persia. By the way,
People are not going to believe that happens, but it's
Oh my
literally
God.
happened on some games where someone's like, I'm changing the jump animation. It's going to be great. And all the level designers are like, say what?
it's like
Or it happens like 2 weeks later where they're like, my levels are broken, and they get all the bugs.
Yeah.
It's one guy who's like,
Can't make the jump. Can't make the
I've
jump.
made the animation better, guys. Like, what's the problem? People suck at working together, even if they're paid to. It's great.
Yeah. It's oh God. It's like, but it's only one little thing. It's gonna break it. It's gonna break it.
Your job as a game designer is sometimes to just connect all those pieces.
Yes.
And like, it's like the animator's like, I'm going to make it better. And you're like, you're going to keep it the exact same way. Because
Yeah.
otherwise we don't get gold.
I mean,
we don't
okay,
final the game. And then they're like, well, you made the game worse. And you're like,
You can
thank
do
you.
that.
Yes, I have. Thank you.
You can say, if they say, well, I've been approved to work on some time, that's where the designer says, this is exactly the metrics you have to work with.
Right.
If you deviate from this, you will break everything and we'll end up pulling your work. We'll roll it
Yeah.
back or whatever. So,
I've done that.
yeah.
I've done that. I've gone to Perforce and I've been like, undo. Because some people won't be told. And I have ultimate authority. And I go like, hey, Mr. Lead Programmer, we're about to roll back this change list.
Yeah.
Because someone wasn't told. And it's a performance conversation as well. If people do not accept, because some people don't know, right? Like, imagine an animator who doesn't know that all the metrics of all the levels have to change. And I've encountered these people.
Mm-hmm.
They exist. They've worked in the industry for 10 years, and they won't be told.
Yeah.
And you have to
So
have
you know what?
conversation.
I'm on team spreadsheet now. Like, you brought me on over on that. It's
Glorious.
I think it's good to have sometimes consensus on. Yeah, we'll agree on that one if it's one of the two.
So there's one mechanic that we haven't discussed, which is the backwards in time.
Oh yeah, that part.
That was such a good mechanic. I love that.
So okay, taking that mechanic, when we talked about going back to making your game, if you're like, hey, rewind is my thing,
Yeah.
that right there, distill it down to a basic. It can be a totally different game, but that's your mechanic that you want to grab onto.